Many of you will remember, and I'll end on this. We're not going to do this whole video either because it's too long, but it's just for the joy of doing it. Many of you will recall that on no, OAN, I think it was, the Orange Asshole Network. That's what it stands for, right? On OAN, there's a guy, Danny Balls, who at one point said he would debate me anytime, anywhere. And then we reached out and never heard back. He's just been dodging me since fucking October. And then he just kind of, let it slide, I guess. To, I don't know. He just either wimped out, ran off scared, or was just kind of douched his way into a corner. And and I was like, what's this guy really got as far as programming that could be better than me? You know what I mean? Because I mean that'd be some pretty hot shit if I do say so my damn self. I think it would be hilarious. I would intentionally make it hilarious, and I think it'd be probably the most lively episode that Danny Balls has ever had. Now, granted, I shouldn't call him Danny Balls because it's one ball, singular. It's not plural. And it's important, So I guess we should probably call him Danny One Ball from now on. Although I don't know that that's true, and I don't think it's appropriate because I think Hitler had one ball, and I think comparing them together would excite him too much. So, but Danny Balls has better guests to deal with than me. He's landing some whales. Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, why would you want to debate somebody like me when you get the top-notch, effectively the modern spokesperson for MAGA, the poster child for maggot ethics. Dan Ball with George Santos. George announces run for Congress, and where else would he do it but on Dan One Ball's show? You know what I mean? Why would he go anywhere else?
And so I thought I would bring George on.
Did you? You thought you were like, Ken Buck's going to retire, so fuck. I'll bring on George Santos because the Republican Party hasn't had a bad enough week.
To have his say because he decided to throw his hat back in the ring. Now,
well, for the record, we don't know if it's his hat. He may have stolen it from an old lady in South America. Just say.
Now running for New York.
Or even if it is a hat. I don't know that I'm willing to believe it's actually a hat.
York's 1st congressional district. So joining us for the first time, former Congressman George Santos on Real America. George?
Yeah, you look real excited to talk to him, dude.
George, thanks for coming on. Yes. Let me just get, let's clear the air.
Let's clear the air. I don't like gay people. And so
I know you had some concerns about doing this interview with me because you had heard through the grapevine
that I'm a douchebag who waves a gun around the office because a homeless person stumbled into the garage that poses as the OAN studio in San Diego, and everybody there thought I was an H&R threat, and I rage at people who don't even fucking work in my office.
That I had spoken ill will of you in the past.
Spoken ill will. Okay. Spoken ill of someone or spoken with ill will. What the fuck do I know, though? It's not like I talk for a living.
And let me just say in layman's terms, you heard I was talking, right? I like to keep this show very real.
Yeah, but your network's still going to edit it. How real is that?
Okay.
You mean shit? You can't say shit on your show? They bleep out shit? You just want to swear for George's benefit. Okay.
So, let me tell you what I said, then you can have your say, and then we'll get to what the hell's going on in the halls of Congress today.
I don't even like looking at your face.
I didn't approve of what you did to get where you got, and that's what I said. Okay? We all know politicians have lied about their education, their jobs, their religion. I mean, look at Joe. One day he's brought up in the black church, he's a truck driver, he's a heavy machine operator. We get it. They all frickin' lie. And so you didn't do it.
No. He's Catholic. He goes to mass.
Anything different. You did it at a critical moment when the country's in trouble, and I disliked you for doing that. But with that said, I also said in your defense,
we have a razor thin margin in the House, and I don't give a fuck who's in there. I'd vote for the devil himself if he'll gargle Trump's balls and vote whatever way he's told.
Thought it was asinine that the
Don't say that in front of George.
Republicans used you as an example when we have a razor thin margin and booted you.
Well, look at that. When use you as an example when we have it's not an example, motherfucker. He was off the fucking charts. You don't even know that's not even his real fucking name. His real name's DeVolder.
Out for something you were never found guilty of yet to this day.
It's an ongoing case. He's been indicted.
Still have not been found guilty.
He will be before the election.
In a court of law. So that's what I said. We aired it out.
Well, look, Dan, let's put it this way. I understand a lot of people have feelings and they want to play the self-righteous halo on the top of their head type.
No. All right. This is always the sign of a weak argument. When I would, they say like make a straw man or a steel man of an argument. I think there has to be kind of like a Halo Man argument, although that sounds like a video game term, where you argue that nobody's perfect is the argument. And nobody's arguing about perfect. You're so fucking off the chart of perfect or even good or even functioning that bringing up perfect is a fucking cop-out because it lays it on the other person. It says to the person you're arguing with, when you're like, nobody's perfect, it says that person is asking of you unreasonable standards. Impossible even. When they aren't. Everybody else, for the most part, even the lying full of shit ones, somehow managed not to commit identity fraud in the process.
Of Republicans. Here's the reality. Democrats are at all-out war against this country and all the values and everything we stand for.
Which would be, by the way, what standard is it? Because I'm honest to God, I'm not completely convinced you didn't enter whatever apartment you're in through a fucking window because you wanted that as your backdrop.
Right? Look,
No, not right.
Apologize. I've come clean on stupid acts I've made. And I stand here, and I've done this multiple times on national interviews, and I apologize profusely time and time again because...
Right. But apologizing isn't going to do it. You committed material fraud.
I think it is a never-ending cycle of...
Nope. Real easy way the cycle ends. When you're found guilty, you'll ultimately go to jail more than likely. For the crimes you are alleged to have committed. And also, this cycle would end if you didn't keep arguing that you have the characteristics necessary to be a representative in our government of this country. If you think it's a great country, why would you want anyone even anywhere like you making decisions on behalf of the American people? Like,
redemption for me. But here's the reality.
Redemption. Jesus Christ. Does everybody get, like, at one point it was 15 minutes of fame, and now everybody gets their fucking page 3 of People magazine story?
I never once, Dan, you can say whatever you want about me.
Go ahead, Dan.
Never once did I backtrack on a single policy position, on a single commitment that I made with my voters. I voted exactly how I said I would vote. I voted America first. I voted on Donald Trump's agenda. I am a MAGA Republican, and when people call me an extremist MAGA Republican, I say I am so proud to be one because it is a badge of honor.
He loves it. Dan's rethinking this whole thing, and he's also thinking, I'd look good in that red sweater.
I rather die standing for something I truly believe in than to be a spineless rhino in Washington, D.C.
All right. I don't, you guys know, I have no interest in interjecting when they attack each other. I'm only stopping to applaud it.
Like Nick LaLota, like Ken Buck, all these people who are in the way of a truly conservative agenda.
In the way? He just stepped down.
So, look, Ken...
He's leaving next week.
Buck leaving now Speaker Johnson with 2 seats in the majority is just indicative of how self-destructive rhinos are for the party. We need to start weeding them out, and that's why I've thrown my hat into the ring on the neighboring district in NY1, because politics is a zero-sum game. I want to win. I don't want to go try my best efforts against Tom Suozzi, who's a household name. I work very hard.
You're a household name too. You know, right up there with you know, toilet and compost and Dahmer.
To flip Republican, and now went right back into the hands of who held it for 6 years. So that seat's not going anywhere no time soon until Tom retires.
Anytime soon. No time soon is not. Never mind.
But you know what I can do? I can move into NY1 where Lolota represents.
Is this now the like the Republicans just kind of like moving around like fucking Pac-Man, just gobbling up the next district? He just saw what Boebert did and went, I'm basically Boebert, but like if she had short hair and a shellfish allergy.
And refuses to live in, I'll move there. Who doesn't want to live around the Hamptons? Are you kidding? You don't got to firearm.
Well, I'll tell you, you kind of just made your case for why people should trust you this round. That was going to be my next question.
What? He doesn't live there. He's moving there to run for a district he doesn't and hasn't lived in. What does he know about the fucking district? And seriously, other than there's money there and he knows it's a rich district, and if he could run it, he's guaranteed a certain amount of support from the Republican base there. If they're dumb enough to give him fucking money, which I can't imagine.
Question to you is, why should constituents trust a George Santos 2.0, right? A rebooted, a new version, who's come clean, who's a...
Because they don't give a fuck. It's not about trust. They don't need him to be anything. It's like Donald Trump was friends with fucking Epstein. You think these assholes care? They just want a bunch of heat-seeking missiles that will destroy the country.
Apologize, and I think you covered it, because if you look at your voting record, you said you have stuck to the America First positions in all of your votes, and you would continue if the voters of District 1 now will vote you in come November. That's what you're telling us.
Yeah, here's what I said the whole time. Please don't judge me for my past. We all have a past. Judge.
Yeah, but we don't all have a past like you, dude.
Sure, we do. The work I do in the spot.
And I love how Dan just jumps in. Sure we do. Really, Dan? Why don't you tell us? What's your, I mean, I've done stand-up about my past for years, so I'm pretty much an open book, but you jumped right in there. That seems interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
And I think the work I delivered as a member of Congress to the best of my ability with all the limitations I had.
And the whole McCarthy thing, and was that America First, or was that Party First, or was that MTG First, or?
Were conservative. So much so that I had members of the Freedom Caucus oftenly say to me, holy crap, you vote way better than we could have ever even imagined or dreamt of.
Really? That's what they said? You know what? I trust him. If he says they said it, that's what they said. Right? I mean, of course they said it. Of course. And that's a direct quote. I'm just going to assume.
Guys, I was just in the chamber talking to the chairman, and Bob Good goes, oh my God, George, your record was quite stellar. We never quite grasped it until we absolutely saw the whole thing laid out. So the reality is I'm conservative.
We love you, George, because you're a follower.